Hi everyone. This is one of my ECU assignments that I did as I was trying to complete my coursework, become a teacher, and this is something about the classroom management plan instructions. And as you can see, it's my name here, my classroom management plan for the June 14, 2020. Um, I just came up with this classroom slogan and motto: "We are studious, talented, understanding, dedicated, energetic, natural." Task-oriented and simple students. So that actually clubs my group of kids whom I taught the very first year or whom I did teach the only year as a teach science teacher. So my philosophy of management was every child is unique and that they all have different learning needs and styles. Keeping that in mind, my philosophy as a teacher is to create an environment for all my students to gain their full potential slowly but steadily. Education for me is when I see a class where teachers are modeling the inner discipline so that students are taking responsibility and trying to solve the problem. When we see students are freely able to give their ideas and participate with their classmates without complications while helping each other, that would be the ideal classroom atmosphere when learning happens. Sorry, the learning spelling has gone wrong here. Again, this is just I'm reading what I wrote. You guys will be more excellent than me in writing skills. I just wanted to share my thought process, as I was creating this. Now, the next, our instructor had asked us to write the philosophy of management, and then we come back to connection to other classroom management experts and theories. As a new teacher, while learning different theories, you wonder all of them are equally good and stand independently by themselves. For example, Lee and Marley Cantor's theory of assertive discipline model to B.F. Skinner's and Watson's stimulus response theories, along with Dr. Spencer Kagan's win-win model. All these theories are unique and give teachers a good framework to create an awesome classroom where learning can happen. Being a new teacher, all these theories look excellent for having a good classroom management. I am fond of Skinner's behavior theory of operant conditioning, more relevant when dealing with students. This theory deals with ways humans or any other organism behaves in each condition. For example, if I ask a student to explain a concept and she does it very well, if I give her a high five, this high five is reinforcing stimulus, which means that if the student keeps doing a good job, the teacher will always acknowledge that and an operant condition will continue and will be reinforced. Operant conditioning can be used if a student who had trouble doing a quiz did a good quiz and the teacher gives him or her credit, which will reinforce the behavior that the student is trying harder each time. Basically, as a new teacher, what I have seen is if we try to help the entire group of kids who are struggling, we need more time. I know that all these theories are researched, proven, and they have valid points. But when we are in a classroom, and as a new teacher, when you just step into the classroom, you are more concentrating on the behavioral part of the classroom. Kids can be overwhelming. For them it is a new teacher, a new subject. They are entering just the sixth grade or the seventh grade, whichever grade they are entering into. They have their own thought process. So in that, as a teacher, what I thought as a teacher would be a person who can try to help them. But there are cases when behavior issues become more than actual teaching. So the teacher is more trying to spend time in trying to figure out the behavioral issues in the classroom as to teach the process, the teaching part. But and if you get what I have seen is during the enrichment time, I take the group of kids who really are struggling or who really need help, who are having some learning disabilities. If you take those kids and then you try to sit with them and learn, you will really be pleased to see that they want to learn. And as a teacher, that is where I think I made a progress. I made a progress in encouraging my students. I made progress in helping out students who think or who feel that they cannot, be as good as their peers. All the theories, I am totally towards all the theories. I know that the theories are important. They've been researched and proven, and these people who have given expert theories are really having a solid base, and they have researched and spent a lot of time in giving out or sending out these theories. But at the end of the day, it is just, if one teacher can help one student, or if one teacher can help at least 5 students get out of their comfort zone and tell, hey, you can do it like rest of the kids, that's where I think as a teacher I accomplished a few things. So I'm not going to read the entire thing what I wrote, but I just am, I'm taking it slow. If anybody wants to go through it, it will be there in the YouTube. You can just go refer as to, and then I know that you guys are more expert in writing. Mine is just a basic. Just refer and see how can you start this assignment, and nothing much no more than that. Okay. The other classroom management theory that I read, I think has influenced my philosophy is Barbara Colorosa's model of inner discipline, as it shows how children's dignity must be maintained by avoiding criticism and showing more compassion. And that is where I have done in my first year of teaching. Instead of, I know that my class was full of behavioral issues, kids were just all over the place. But those kids whom I attended to, whom I pulled together early in the morning by coming early or by sitting late in the evening, help them out, and to have a plan for them. These kids they actually did way better when compared to kids who can do it by themselves but still were not trying. This is just my first year of experience. I'm just putting it out there. There's no hard feelings. This is just my experience and what I felt my first year was. I believe that we should correct and let students know what they went wrong, which is important for students to think back and rectify. Students should be taught how to keep the problems away from happening again, and punishments are not an option. Instead, they should be able to take right consequences. Building inner discipline or the strength in students helps them to do the right thing guided by their teacher. This was what my first year looked like. It's always, of course, I had a group of students who were excellent. They were independent on their work. They did their work. They very rarely asked me a question here and there. And so, for me, I was just monitoring them and encouraging them to stay on the top and do more, a little bit more of, in helping them to challenge themselves to do better and providing them more questions. But these set of kids whom I regularly try to pull out and try to help them because they need that extra emotional support. Uh, that is what I built on, and that's where I saw positive changes in the students. The third classroom management theory that I believe was Spencer's win-win discipline model, and that is really something which I really would have taken into my classroom if I would have, continued as a teacher for the second year. I really feel that the entire class when it participates, there is no room for misbehavior. So Spencer's theories were basically more collaborative work, but not just a few kids doing it here and there. Now, these were the classroom rules I came up with. So listen and follow directions. This rule is a must from the beginning of the class to the end, and everywhere in middle. Raise your hand before speaking or leaving your seat. This rule helps students not to wander off the task. Respect your classmates, all adults in the premises, and show and your school property. This is because I have few kids literally drawing on the tables, things that are not supposed to be written on the tables, and then just trying to vandalize the property. So that was something which was like when I put in mandatory as a rule, because I didn't want, school properties, or I didn't want them to behave the way they were behaving. So no hitting, pushing, fighting, or bullying. And then the last one was follow safety procedures like fire drill, lockdown, and tornado drills, etc. There are areas in my class where I allow students to create their own rules. For example, when I want to know if they master a topic, I tell them that they have a choice to pick as a game, the games like Kahoot, quizzes, Jeopardy, and all that. And then when you go to playground too, it's up to them. If they want to get their own equipment, they can get their equipments, but they're losing the equipment and then having a problem created there. That's not an option. So if that is the case, I would pull the equipments back and give it to their parents, and they will not be allowed to get equipment anymore. So these were some of the rules that I did. My favorite part of the science class as a science teacher was to create more experiments. So most of the time, I would always do the discrepancy experiment. Like for example, the first day they all wanted to do, for some reason, every kid wanted to do the volcano. So we did the volcano. We also did the experiment that why is that the air cannot be pushed in and out. There's so many experiments that we did when in sixth grade, the 1 year of my teaching, and that generally actually helps the children look forward for the class. Like every time they come in, they ask, "Listen, what is the thing that we're going to learn today, and what is the experiment that we're going to do today?" So even if it is just like when you do the ecology part is just walking around in the garden or the backyard and trying to collect big stems and then later on ripping them and then looking under the microscope. That itself is a big, huge um, activity, right, for the kids, and they can look into the parts of the leaves, parts of the plant, the stem, the root, and everything. So it is anything that the kids get hands-on is actually more beneficial than just doing the regular videos and asking them to write answers, and that process is much the hands-on projects are much better than the thought process that they do, or at least that's my opinion. Then there are, of course, the school procedures. This is what I did. So as the kid come into the classroom, they put their backpacks away, they pack it under your chair or put it on the top of the chair. I mean, on the top of the back of the chair, and they start doing the do nows that are on the board. They grab a restroom pass, they go to the restroom, and once they come and settle down, they just watch CNN. Some kids just don't watch CNN. They might be here listening here and there, but they would read a book or do the pending assignment for any class. And then there is a pencil monitor, the monitors will do their job and then turn in their homeworks in the bin, collect their homeworks and put it in the bin. And while going for lunch or any other activities outside the classroom, it's always a single file, quietly lined up. These are all the regular general things that we have been following like any other classroom. Then there are some do the record keeping jobs, like taking the attendance, taking the sheets and giving it to the teachers, or collecting the booklets, grade, and all those kind of things. They're all done there throughout the year, which is something which is every person does. So it's nothing new. I just put it there and I'm just reading it out what I thought my first year looked like. So basically this is it. If anybody wants to just go through and review, I know you can always go through and look into this and use it as a maybe a guide to how to start your work, but it's not definitely not an excellent thing. I'm just sharing what I thought, what I did. Thank you.